What if the most important city in Britain was not the oldest or the largest or the most famous, but the one that quietly learned how to make almost everything? Not from a single resource, but from thousands of small hands, ideas and workshops working together. Because in the case of Birmingham, industry was not concentrated, it was distributed. Welcome to the making of Britain. Unlike Liverpool, which had the sea, or Manchester, which had cotton and water power, Birmingham did not begin with an obvious geographic advantage. It sits in the West Midlands, away from major navigable rivers and coastal trade routes. Yet this absence becomes part of its story. Birmingham grew not because of one defining resource, but because of access to labour, to small-scale materials, and to a surrounding region rich in craft traditions. It was a city shaped less by geography alone and more by connectivity within England itself. By the 17th and early 18th centuries, Birmingham had developed a distinctive economic structure. Instead of large mills or centralised production, it was organised around small workshops. Metalworkers, gunsmiths, button makers and tool manufacturers operated across the city and surrounding areas. Production was highly flexible. Goods were often made in stages, with different specialists contributing to a final product. This system allowed for rapid adaptation and innovation. Birmingham did not produce one thing at scale, it produced many things at once. As you're still walking with me, you can really help this channel by liking this video. It helps YouTube show it to a lot more people who may enjoy it. Thanks. This fragmented structure encouraged experimentation. Because production was distributed, changes could be introduced quickly without restructuring entire systems. Inventors and craftsmen worked closely, often within the same networks. Birmingham became known for its ability to refine and improve existing designs rather than relying on single breakthroughs. This incremental innovation gave the city a reputation for practical ingenuity. It was not theoretical invention that defined Birmingham, but applied problem solving. The city's economy was closely tied to metalworking. Iron, brass and later steel became central materials. Birmingham's workshops produced everything from domestic goods to industrial components and military equipment. The city became a major supplier of guns and armaments, particularly during periods of war. This industrial capacity was not based on a single factory system, but on a dense network of skilled labour. The surrounding Black Country also contributed raw materials and industrial energy, reinforcing Birmingham's position as a manufacturing hub. At this point, it's worth asking, does a city need a defining resource to become powerful, or can organisation alone be enough? Was Birmingham shaped by what it had, or by how it used what it had? Share your thoughts in the comments, because Birmingham challenges the idea that industrial power must come from a single source. By the 19th century, Birmingham began to shift from small workshops toward more standardised production. The expansion of railways and national markets increased demand for consistent, interchangeable goods. This encouraged greater coordination between producers. While the workshop system remained important, larger factories began to emerge. Birmingham adapted rather than replaced its structure, blending flexibility with increasing scale. This balance allowed it to remain central to British manufacturing. Industrial growth reshaped Birmingham's population and urban form. Workers migrated into the city, housing expanded rapidly, and new districts developed around industrial activity. The city became increasingly diverse in occupation and skill. Civic institutions also grew, reflecting the influence of industrialists and local reformers. If you subscribe, there's loads of videos like this one for you to enjoy. Birmingham's identity became tied not just to production, but to organisation, reform, and civic development. Although inland, Birmingham was deeply connected to global trade networks. Its manufactured goods were exported across the British Empire and beyond. The city's economy depended on both raw materials imported from abroad and markets overseas for finished goods. This global integration meant that Birmingham, despite its geography, was part of international systems of exchange. Its influence extended far beyond the Midlands. In the 20th century, Birmingham's industrial base changed significantly. Heavy manufacturing declined, and the city underwent extensive redevelopment. New industries, including services and technology, began to replace traditional production. The physical landscape of the city also changed, with older industrial areas repurposed or rebuilt. Birmingham adapted to economic change by diversifying rather than relying on a single sector. Today, Birmingham is one of the most diverse and economically significant cities in the United Kingdom. Its history as a manufacturing centre remains visible in its architecture, infrastructure and identity. While its economy has shifted, the legacy of distributed production and innovation continues to shape its character. The city remains defined by adaptation and complexity rather than a single defining feature. If Birmingham shows that industrial power does not require a single resource or location, what does that suggest about how cities evolve? Are they shaped by geography or by the systems people build within them? Because the story of Birmingham is not about one advantage, it's about how many small advantages can, together, become something far greater. YouTube has chosen this video, especially for you to watch next because you watched this. Have a look, I think you'll enjoy it. If you ding the bell, you'll be notified of all new episodes so you don't miss any. Thanks for walking a little further along the road that made Britain with me. Bye.